48 hours been for you, and congratulations.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you. I mean, it's cool. Obviously, it's awesome to bring in a son to add to my family, and everything went great and everything went smooth. And Brittany's a champ, so it's been really cool.
Can you give us some insight on the bronze and have a theme going here and
Yeah.
where all that comes from?
Yeah, when me and Brittany when we had Sterling, we didn't know if it was a girl or boy at first, so we started thinking of girl and boys' names, and we wanted to obviously them to have that connection and them to be brother and sister forever. And so obviously I've always wanted to do Patrick Mahomes III. I've thought about that since I was literally like 5, 6 years old, and I always thought it was going to be Trey as the third because you hear a lot of people doing that, and my brother Jackson, whenever we were trying to find something that was a little unique and different, he said, "What about bronze? It fits perfectly with Sterling," and we went with that, and I think it works out well. And he can have his own thing now, where he's not Patrick, he's bronze, even though he's Patrick. And then Sterling and bronze can have that connection moving forward.
Patrick, how much do you think that meant to your dad, just to kind of keep that going?
Hey, man, he was emotional for sure. I mean, my dad, as he's gotten older, has gotten a little bit more emotional, I think, as all of us do. He was here this weekend, so it worked out perfectly that my family got to see him before they left and went back to Tyler. It was cool to see him, and my grandpa was here and my grandma on my mom's side. So I had a lot of family in, so it worked out perfectly that weekend.
The players were, Andy was saying about the players around you a little bit, just what was it like to introduce them to the players as well, as a child?
Yeah, no, I mean, just have my family and my teammates have always got along perfectly. I mean, you would think when you saw Travis and my dad, they were best friends, not me and him. So that's just the type of organization that we have here, the type of team that we have here. We're all family in this building, and whenever I connect my family to that, it seems like it's just one big family. I think that's what makes us such a great football team.
I don't want to kill the good vibes,
That's all good.
Anybody got any more family ones? Last year, obviously didn't go the way you wanted in that game. Like, how much has this game been circled on the calendar for you? And does it mean more than the other ones?
Yeah, I don't know if it means more. I think you got to keep stuff in perspective. It's a brand new football season. Obviously, anytime someone beats you the year before, you want to beat them, especially in a game like they beat us in to go to the Super Bowl. And we understand it's a great football team that's playing great football right now. So we'll go out there and put our best effort forward and try to play our best football and try to get that win, because it's a big win in the season to try to hold that #1 seed and win our division.
Patrick, how often does that game enter your mind?
Not really a lot. I mean, once the season ended and I wasn't in the Super Bowl and I had to watch it from the couch at my house in Texas, I kind of just moved on, knowing that you have to keep getting better. You have to keep kind of moving up forward. And if you want to have success that next season, you can't dwell on what happened the last season. You have to learn from it and just get better from it.
You mentioned after the game, one piece of it that you did learn from it was just finishing out games. So are there other tokens you've taken from that game, though?
Yeah, I mean, just whenever stuff's not going the perfect way, the way that we want it to go, just getting back to your fundamentals. I think that's what I kind of look back especially when I watched the tape this week, is I was really good in the first half of my fundamentals, and as the game kind of we weren't having success as an offense, my fundamentals got worse and worse. And so just whenever you get in those situations, just trying to get back to that, get back to your fundamentals and trusting in the game plan that coach is going to put us in the right position to succeed.
How much time have you guys spent working on what the Bengals did to you in the second half last year? Not just necessarily this week, but going back to camp or whatever.
I mean, not a ton. I mean, we work on all different type of coverages, and I mean, it wasn't like they did anything that was that much different from the first half than they did in the second half. They put a little bit more man coverage than they did in the first half. They made some adjustments of trying to be in the right spots. But at the end of the day, we have to execute at a high level, and I trust that our guys are going to win versus man coverage. And if I can execute and throw the ball in the right spot, we'll find ways to have success. So just kind of like I said, getting back to the fundamentals and getting back to just being who I am.
Their receiver Tyler Boyd compared you and Joe Burrow to the old Brady Manning rivalry. Just when you hear something like that and looking at Joe, just what a competitor is he compared to you guys and your little rivalry here?
Yeah, I mean, I have a ton of respect for Joe. I mean, he's a great football player, but he's a competitor, like you said. I mean, those are the guys that win in this league, or guys that compete. And so, I mean, I hate to compare to Brady and Manning because they won so much and put up so many stats, and I feel like that's something that you do at the end of your career when they look back and see all the success that you have. But I know it's just like a lot of these guys. I know I'm gonna play this guy for a long time. He's a great competitor, so he's gonna be a great football team for a long time, and we're gonna have games like this. And so I just try to go out there and win the week, and I know he does the same. And we see what happens at the end of the week, and you move on to the next.
Patrick, on a non-Bengals question, Patrick, I know early in the year you were talking about how much you thought maybe you would use your legs more as the season moves along. With the new receivers, I just wonder how much are you sort of anticipating getting out of the pocket a little bit more and obviously using that to your advantage?
Yeah, I honestly don't think about running until like I have to. I think that's a good thing and a bad thing. But I try to do whatever I can to throw the ball down the field. But with all the coverages that we're getting, and they're trying to take away guys and man coverages and putting people out there to stop all the receivers that we have, it's kind of opened up those lanes. Yeah, I just try to use them whenever it's there and not try to overdo it. I know they had a good plan last year where they were kind of spying me, the Bengals did, so I'll have to make sure I account for that as well. But it's just trusting your guys up front to protect, and then us making plays downfield, and I'll give those guys chances too.
Even with your fundamentals, is it still more fun to throw out of the pocket than the traditional 3-step, 5-step and get it out of your hands?
I don't know. As I've gotten older, I've started to like throwing from the pocket more. So I don't know if it's just because I've gotten a little bit older and understand a little bit more. But when I was younger, I'd like to scramble around and make a ton of different throws, and I can still do it. But if I can throw from the pocket these days, I'm just gonna throw it from there.
Patrick, you mentioned not dwelling on things earlier. Sky Moore had a difficulty getting the drop on the punt, and you know, you could hear the crowd kind of got after him a little bit. You guys on offense still went right to him. Is that something that you saw that and said, I'm going to get him into the game? He obviously had a very good game then catching the ball. Is that something you said? Does Andy say that to you? Is it Eric, somebody talking in your headset saying, let's get him involved and get the ball, or did it just work out that way?
I think it just worked out that way, but I think EB and Coach Reed do a good job of, whenever stuff like that happens, scheming up stuff or calling those plays that might have him as one of the primary options. I just go through my reads and throw it to the guys that are open. I mean, that's the thing in this team is we're not dwelling on that. We know the guys here are competing. They're doing whatever they can to put everything on the line. And if something happens bad, we know the next time you get a chance, you're gonna make a play happen. And that's what great teams do, and that's what great players do.
You mentioned, Sam, maybe losing some fundamentals at the end of the second half last year in that game. Is that something you feel while it's happening, or something you see on tape? Do you have any safeguards, someone watching to kind of give you a little cue to say, look out for this if that's happening during a game?
I think it's something that I've gotten better at recognizing as my career has gone on. I think when I get in some, I don't want to say slumps, but in some spots in games where my fundamentals go bad, I've tried to be better at fixing them quicker because those are things that I've taught myself now of how to recognize and how to get back to what do I think of to get back into the right fundamentals. And having guys like Chad Henne, Nagy, and all these guys that kind of been around me for a while now, they can kind of give me stuff, and they can, I don't want to say critique me, but they can tell me when I'm not doing something the right way so that I can get back to what we practice on all week. And that's something that I try to recognize as quickly as possible.
Like a little bit of a mound visit for
Yeah, that's exactly right. I mean, just having someone that can come out that you trust, that knows that they want you to play the best football possible, and they can just give you those little tidbits that can get you back into the rhythm of the offense.
We'll go Harold, Sam, then Alex. Go ahead, Harold.
Patrick, this year with the Bengals, is there anything differently, or is it more of the same you see with the Bengals defense and what you're about to face this weekend?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a really good defense. It's a really good entire unit of defense. They're well coached. I have good players at every level, and they've played together now for a long time, so they do a great job of passing off stuff and zone coverages and man coverages, knowing where the other guy is to help. And so, I mean, they're a well-coached unit. We know it's a great challenge for us, and we're just going to go out there and try to execute at a high level. And it'll probably be a lot of tight window throws, and guys are going to have to make plays, and that's what happens when you play a great football team. It's just going to be a tightly contested game.
Patrick, I'm sure when you play any team, if you played them recently, you watch a lot of the film of the last matchup. What is that experience like, and does it differ based on how you played in that particular game?
I mean, you kind of learn from it in good and bad ways. I mean, you learn from the stuff that you did good, and you want to execute and do that stuff again. And then you see the stuff that you miss, and you obviously you're mad because you missed it, but you learn from that so you can hit it the next time. So the thing about us is we've started to play these teams now a lot now with a lot of these young quarterbacks around the league. You start playing the same teams. And so you learn from it. You make adjustments, they make adjustments, and then you go out there and make adjustments on the field. So it's a great challenge for both teams, and I'm excited for it.
After going back to off-season,
preseason. If you can recall, when you do have so many new faces in the receivers room, what are the most important things for you to do to help them get acclimated, to help them feel welcome here?
I think it's just you just talk to each other. You learn that relationship with the guys off the field, and then on the field you talk to them about how you like things ran. They talked about how they've ran them before. You learn from each other, then you go out there and execute at a high level. And I think that's what we've done. Is as the season's gone on, you see we're getting more and more chemistry because we've talked through the stuff, we talked to the mistakes, we talked to the positives, and we've learned how to keep evolving as an offense.
Thanks, Patrick.
Thank you.
Thank you.